All right, artists, so this video is going to show you how to draw an eye. So I'm going to be going through the process for this specific picture. And you can see my eye crosses over in a couple squares. So I'm going to kind of do this whole section. So the bottom part of this square, and then this side, and then this whole square as I approach this. So to start out, I'm going to try and blend the general skin value around my eye. So in another video, I'll talk more about blending for skin, but generally I try to start and look, okay, where is it highlighted? Here I notice it on this side, and it's kind of shadowed underneath my eye. So I'm gonna use this bottom of my HB yellow pencil and use the side as I'm blending the skin to try and create that value change. For the eyebrow, so it's kind of hard with the eyebrows is you want to be able to draw all the hairs, but you don't want white paper to show underneath, kind of like with your hair. So I'm going to just pretend that skin for now and do just a base value, and then I'll do lines for the eyebrow hair on top. Also, make sure to erase the grid line ahead of time. All right, so that's kind of a base layer. I'm probably going to darken and lighten different areas, but it's kind of a general mid-tone. Now I'm going to go in and draw in the lines for my eyebrows. So normally our eyebrow hairs start more, like the lines will start up and down, closer to the corner, the inside corner of our eyes, and then they'll move more to the side. So just try to look, what do you notice in your eye, an eyebrow? Short strokes that are slightly different lengths will be good, overlapping each other slightly. Try not to overthink your eyebrow hairs, otherwise they're gonna look more, I don't know, fake. Try to just let your brush or your pencil do its thing. I feel like mine kind of disappear in this picture over to the side. You could go in with your 4B pencil in some areas just to kind of create more dimension. All right, we'll keep it there for now. So now it's really important when you're looking at the picture of your eye to notice where is it really dark, where is it really light. So I noticed that like my eyelid line is pretty dark in the corner of my eye. Also notice where do you see any highlights in your eye and try to maybe outline those so that you know to not add value there. And even just the value change within my eyelid. I know it's darker here, but then kind of highlighted here. So trying to create that range will be really important. So if you want to just watch along for my process, here we go. So I'm going to start by tracing over my eyelid line with my 4B pencil. And then I'm going to go over that line with my tortillon to kind of soften and smooth it. And where I see it's darker kind of on this side of my eye, maybe I'll blend it more. All right. You'll also notice that there is a little space underneath your eye for like your lower eyelid. So usually there's a brighter line underneath your eye, and then on the lower part of that line is where your lower lashes will come from. So notice that difference, or that change. And then when approaching the inside of the eye, I think that's what I'm going to do next. Generally, the outside ring is a little bit darker. Really look at the negative space. What does this shape look like in your picture to your drawing? Try to outline about where you see that reflection. And your pupil. Your placement of your pupil is kind of important to help show where you're looking, what direction you're looking. Let's start with that. Then I also noticed that my top lash line is pretty dark, so I'm going to go over this line here. Generally, it will depend. Oops, I just made some marks. It will depend on you and your photo and your eyelashes, but generally you can't see every single eyelash. Like I can see some lines coming out of the corner side of my eye, so I'm gonna not gonna try to do anything perfect exact, but unless this is what it looks like in your photo, I would not just draw long single eyelashes all across your eye. I think in the end that will look a little bit weird. So trust your picture. Hello? Oh. So now I'm going to draw that little space that you see underneath the eye, the lower eyelid. And like I said, generally it's a little bit brighter. So if you need to go in with an eraser, you can. I think mine is bright enough. Still a little bit dark there. And oftentimes it will depend on the direction of your face and the lighting, but generally it's a little bit darker here, kind of as a shadow from your nose. So just look at that value change. Maybe that's something that you'll keep adding on later. Just notice that value. Usually for doing details within the iris, I start with lines radiating out from the center of the pupil, and then I blend it so that I don't see any white of the paper. And then I go back in with my darker pencil to give more details. All right, so now looking at the white of the eye, normally we think, oh, that should be white, right? But no, generally it is not white. Looking at your picture, usually it's at least some kind of shade of gray. Maybe one side is darker than the other, depending on how the light is hitting it. But it's okay, and you shouldn't keep it white if it's not looking totally white. Sometimes just using whatever graphite might be on your blending stick is enough to darken it. But generally the whites of your eyes are some value of gray, so it is okay to make those look gray. All right, so now I'm gonna do just some short lashes underneath for my lower lashes. Making the lines a little bit different in length and spacing will make it feel more natural. And then most times if we're smiling especially, we're gonna have some wrinkles or lines around our eye. You don't want those to get too dark to feel like overpowering, but you want to show those. So just start looking, where do they start, where do they stop? I'm gonna use my lighter pencil for this. Draw them out. And then I like to soften them with my Tortillon. And I notice it's a little bit darker underneath this line, so I'm going to add some value. Shade that in more. And as we keep adding more value throughout, it's going to keep coming more and more together. But that's my process for the eye.